Kermit the Chihuahua, looking for everybody who loves dogs. We are on story number 12, and we're finishing up tonight, and we have a special treat, don't we? Do we have a special treat? We have a special treat. Yeah. Is it a good treat? Yeah. Or is it a bad treat? No. It's a good treat? Yeah. What's the treat? The new story. The treat is the new story. And it's similar to what we've been doing. Yeah. So that's cool. Well, let's read for the children. Let's read for them. Hi, everyone. Wasn't Kermit adorable? He's a special dog. We are on to story number 12. So let's get started. Opening night. It was opening night at the Royal Theatre, and Princess Cinderella was excited to see the show. As the curtain went up, the star stepped onto the stage. Cinderella smiled. She knew the performer. It was Karen, a singer she had met long before becoming a princess. Years before, Cinderella's stepmother, Lady Tremaine, had hosted a gathering at her chateau where girls could learn how to play an instrument and take singing lessons. Lessons sounded boring to Lady Tremaine's two daughters, Drizella and Anastasia, but Cinderella thought it was a wonderful idea. I would love to come, she said. Lady Tremaine narrowed her eyes. Why, Cinderella? Do you really have that much free time? Well, I just meant you have far too many chores to do. Cinderella's stepmother continued. The next day, lessons began. Cinderella slipped away from her chores to peek in. One girl, standing off to the side, caught her attention. She had the sweetest voice Cinderella had ever heard. Her name was Karen. Anastasia and Drizella were immediately jealous of Karen's talent. You're not special, hissed Drizella. Your voice is so quiet, no one can even hear you. Which is a good thing, since you sound like a goose, mocked Anastasia. Later that evening, Lady Tremaine said, Anastasia, you must do something about your flute playing. Work harder, dear. It's not my fault, replied Anastasia. I always play the right notes, but my flute plays something else. I think it's broken. I see, said Lady Tremaine. I'll have Cinderella pick up a new one for you. But at the music shop the next morning, the shopkeeper couldn't find anything wrong with Anastasia's flute. Even so, Anastasia wants a new one, Cinderella explained. The man handed Cinderella a new flute and asked what she planned to do with the old one. I don't think anyone will mind if I keep it, she answered. Cinderella had hoped to learn how to play the flute. She wanted to make music for her animal friends. On her way home, Cinderella saw Karen. "You sing beautifully," Cinderella said. "Do you really think so?" asked Karen. "Anastasia said I sounded like a goose." "That's not true," Cinderella exclaimed. "Your voice is as sweet as a songbird's. I have an idea." It was time for Karen to see herself for how good she was. First, Cinderella had Karen sing for the shopkeeper at the music store. Karen, feeling a little shy, sang softly for him. "Charming," said the shopkeeper. The two friends then went to the bakery. This time Karen sang more confidently. The baker clapped, sending up clouds of flour dust. At the perfumery, Karen's voice was so strong and full of energy. "Superb coup de patron. You're so very talented." Karen was delighted. At the next lesson, Lady Tremaine announced that Madame Laveau, a famous opera singer, would be coming the next day. She'd been selecting one student to study with her. It was a chance of a lifetime. "I'll be right by your side for the audition," Cinderella told Karen. "Just be yourself. Remember, your voice is as sweet as a songbird's." "Thank you," said Karen. "You know, I really do think I have a chance." That night, as Cinderella was practicing the flute, her stepsisters and Lady Tremaine barged into her room. "That's my flute," shouted Anastasia. "Give it back." "You have no talent," Drizella scoffed. Lady Tremaine was furious. "You can't be trusted, Cinderella. You are forbidden from being anywhere near the salon tomorrow. I want you to be outdoors gathering firewood." But I've already been collecting enough for the winter," said Cinderella. "Then you'll gather enough for 2 winters." When Karen arrived at the salon the next day, she missed Cinderella. "You can't sing," sneered Drizella, as Anastasia crackled. When it was Karen's turn to audition for Madame Laveau, she opened her mouth to sing, but nothing came out. In the meantime, Cinderella's friends had been working with her since dawn to collect firewood. As soon as they finished, Cinderella ran inside, hoping to be in time for the audition. She arrived just as Drizella and Anastasia were warbling their way through an off key duo. It was dreadful. Madame Laveau headed for her carriage. She hadn't found anyone who could be her student. Karen told Cinderella what had happened. It's not too late, Cinderella said. If you believe in yourself, you can do anything. Karen gave Cinderella a hug. I think I'm ready to sing now. Cinderella called out to the opera star, Madame Laveau, if you please. Karen would like to sing for you, she said. Karen stood right in front of Madame Laveau and sang in a voice that was as sweet as a songbird's. I have found a most talented student, Madame Laveau announced. I predict Karen will be a great star one day. Everyone applauded, except Drizella and Anastasia. That night, Gus and Jacques brought Cinderella a surprise. The flute, she gasped. Oh, thank you. Cinderella promised she'd practiced as much as possible so she could play a song for all her friends. Back at the theater, Princess Cinderella hugged Karen after the show. Your voice is as sweet as ever, she said. You had the whole audience under your spell. Thank you, Karen said. I couldn't have done it without you, Princess. Suddenly, a young performer ran up to Karen. I did it, she said. I sang out loud. I heard you, said Karen. Your voice was as sweet as a songbird's. Princess Cinderella couldn't help smiling. And that concludes our story tonight. Cinderella's going to practice the flute and play it for her animal friends. How sweet is that? The surprise. I'm glad you all made it to the end because we're moving on to 5-minute Christmas stories. That's right, Christmas is around the corner. Let's read this book together and then we'll move on from there. And I have a special surprise before Christmas. I want you guys all to tune in for that. So thank you, everybody, all you amazing, wonderful Stardust made people out there.